Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at the exceptional unique known as Baezil's Vortex Knout. This is 39 to 105 damage. It is 73 dexterity, 82 strength requirement, and it's level 45. This particular Knout has a very fast class attack speed because, well, they're already fast. All Knouts and Scourges and everything tend to be very fast weapons to begin with, and so the addition of the 20% increased attack speed on here actually makes it extremely fast. We also have a 5% increased chance to cast level 8 Nova on striking, which is kind of useless. It is kind of a high level Nova, don't get me wrong. Like, I usually don't see them go as high as level 8, but to give you an idea, level 8 Nova is 43 to 76 lightning damage. It's not really that much, and a 5% chance is kind of terrible. Like, they could have at least put that at like 10 or 15% chance for the rather mediocre damage that offers. We also have a 20% increased attack speed on here, which does actually make it nice and fast. And then we have a very nice 200% enhanced damage, which does vary from, trying to remember here, 160 to 200%, which is about a 40% variable, so not too bad. We also have a really nice amount of lightning damage on here of 150, and it kind of goes along with the theme. So we've got like the Novas proccing, which are doing about like 40 lightning damage for us. And then we've got additional lightning damage of 150. Now, granted, the Nova is AoE, so it's coming out in a nice little circle and it's hitting everything, whereas the 150 is only on attack, so it's not going to hit everything, just that one target. We also have a pretty massive amount of mana on here of 100 mana, which is kind of crazy. I don't really know why there's 100 mana on this item, especially considering it's not really a item for a caster type. But there it is. It kind of makes me think that this weapon may have been actually kind of designed for a Nova Sorceress, specifically a Nova Sorceress who was going to try and do melee. So what you would do is you would max out Lightning Mastery. You would max out, obviously, your enchant and warmth, get some really nice energy shield and things like that, and you would run around basically just attacking with this and spamming level 8 fully synergized Novas. Now, fully synergized level 8 Novas actually do some pretty significant damage, and the 150 lightning damage would also get multiplied by the Lightning Mastery as well. And I'm not really sure what to make of it other than that. I mean, 100 mana also is just a massive amount of mana for a weapon. And we got 25% lightning resistance on here as well, which is, it's nice to have, but it's kind of meh. And then level 15 Nova charges, which again, they're just too level to actually do anything. They're too low level unless you actually have the synergies for the skill. I'm pretty sure level 15 Nova might be like all of about 100 damage, which is kind of just nothing. That's really the sad thing about Nova, is that when it's unsynergized, when it's not useful or not used by a sorceress, it just doesn't really do very much. And looking at it right now, it's 92 to 139. So yeah, probably about an average of about 100 damage per Nova at level 15. And you only get 80 charges of them, so you could spam it for a little while, kill a couple things, and then spend a fortune trying to repair it. Or you could use the chipped gem recipe to recharge it in the cube. We also have 50% enhanced damage to Undead, which is, of course, off-weapon ED, and gives a little bit more damage. Now, Knouts, Flails, and Scourges all have a huge issue with damage range. So they have really high top-end damage, but they have really low bottom-end damage, and it is an issue with Flails in general. 39 to 105 is not bad for level 45, and it could be useful to some characters, like maybe a Zeal Paladin, or a Frenzy Barbarian, or maybe a Fury Druid. I could see a couple different characters getting good use out of this on level. It's probably going to wane off relatively quickly, though. When you get into Nightmare difficulty, you may end up finding something better and utilizing that instead. At level 45, it's basically the beginning of Nightmare difficulty, so who knows what is going to happen at that point. You can also find it in the ethereal form, which is going to be 57 to 156 damage, 63 dex, 72 strength, and level 45. And obviously you can't use it. I mean, you could put it on like a Kixen and you could get the Nova procs. I'm not really sure how good that would be. I mean, you'd get a lot of them. We could also upgrade this, so we're going to check this out and see what happens when we upgrade this to the Scourge, which is the elite form. So it's going to go from the Baezil's Vortex Knout, 39 to 105, 73 dex, 82 strength, level 45, to the Baezil's Vortex Scourge, 9 to 240, very huge range there. 240 is not bad for a level 64 weapon. 77 dexterity, 125 strength, and level 64. Not a bad upgrade. Let's check the ethereal version. The ethereal version goes from 57 to 156, 63 dex, 72 strength, level 45. To the 12 to 360 Scourge, 67 dex, 115 strength, level 64. All in all, I mean, not really a bad upgrade. 360 damage is certainly something that could be good for a high-level character, except you'd have to put a Zod rune in it to actually make it worthwhile. The non-ethereal version at 240 is usable at level 64, but I feel like there's better options that you could be using at this point. The lightning damage doesn't scale, so the lightning damage is relatively useful at this point. The level 8 Nova, 5% on striking, is again relatively useless by level 64, and so is the level 15 Nova charges, relatively useless, which leaves you with just a fast weapon that does decent damage. And that's kind of really all there is to this weapon. It's just a fast weapon that does decent damage, and all the elemental effects just didn't scale properly. You could, of course, put a shield rune in this to make it faster, or you could throw something else in here to increase the damage. There's really a lot of options when it comes to this kind of stuff. Obviously, the ethereal version only has one option, pretty much, which is throw a Zod rune in it. And I just don't know. I'm not really too excited about this particular one. It's just kind of like a generic weapon that could be useful in certain situations, but I feel like a lot of the times you're probably going to have something better already. If you're like a frenzy mace barbarian and you just have to use a mace, this could be an interesting like low-level mace choice. I find it often enough though that like it's not like super rare. And speaking of finding it often enough, let's go check Silo's pen real quick and let's see if we have some good places that we could potentially find it. So Baezil's Vortex. Is it the Baezil's Vortex, or is it just Baezil's Vortex? There it is. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's B-A-E, which makes me think it's Bay instead of Ba, which I could be wrong. It might be Baezil's Vortex. Good luck. This game has so many different languages, and you guys don't even know. There's like German, there's French, there's literally like Polish, there's Korean, there's quite a few Chinese words. There's literally just like so many different languages and so many different pronunciations and things that it's kind of hard to actually know exactly how to pronounce any of these things without like the little special characters and stuff that are supposed to be over the letters to tell you how you're supposed to pronounce them. You could try looking it up and see, but I usually just try my best to just move on. It's too much work. So it looks like Mephisto and Nightmare can drop this at 1 in 882, which is a little late for an item which is in its 40s. That sounded like I was talking about it like it had an age. Duriel can drop it at 1 in 4,378, which is a little closer to realistic, but still a little out of range. Not really a lot of good options there on the bosses. Very poor options for bosses. Neilthak and Nightmare, also very poor. Stormtree, lower Kurast, 1 in 10,000. That's terrible. So it looks like this weapon might be cursed with the whole, like, I can't find it when I actually need it scenario. It does seem this way. Let me restrict this to Nightmare to get a better idea of what I'm looking at. Yes. So this is one of those items that just doesn't really have a lot of good places to find it on level. And that is really quite a shame. I mean, if you were just like running and you just wanted to grab one of these as like a twinked character, that's a different story. And it looks like Hell Cow King is your best bet there, and Nightmare Neilithak. And then if we go to bosses for like a twinked character, again, Nightmare Mephisto, 1 in 596, and Nightmare Diablo, 1 in 623. So very, very good options if you wanted to try and find it for a twinked character, but why would you find this particular item for a twinked character? I feel like there's better choices. Not really a lot of good options to find this on level. Your best bet, honestly, from what I see on the list, is Stormtree in Nightmare difficulty. That was like the only one that was even like a remotely decent chance of a lower level monster that you could probably fight without being like a really high level character. Stormtree is pretty easy to fight. He's pretty easy to find. He's right there at the waypoint, but you do got to get to Act 3 to fight him, which is an issue for a character who is level 45. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we are talking about a weird one like the Baezil's Vortex. And as always, keep watching.